associating me with that Duke the Jeweler situation because I went to the Boosie pool party and he happened to be there and he happened to be standing on me.
Boosie Bidaz just sent shockwaves through the game after officially cutting a federal plea deal, one that, according to street whispers, could put Jay Prince and his infamous Dice crew right in the Fed's crosshairs. If what's being said holds weight, this isn't just about a gun charge anymore. This could unravel a high-stakes dice racket that's allegedly been targeting rappers for years. Here's where it gets wild. The same feds who've been circling around the murder of Duke the Jeweler and the dice games tied to the night of his death are now doubling back on every single name connected to those events, including Boosie's. And with him now cooperating, the question everyone's asking is simple. Is Boosie just protecting himself, or is he about to hand over names that could dismantle one of the most feared circles in hip-hop? Because, if even part of these rumors are true, Jay Prince, the man accused for years of running Houston's infamous check-in culture, could be facing the kind of federal heat you can't just smooth talk your way out of. And the streets are already connecting the dots, wondering if Boosie just put mob ties directly on the menu. It all traces back to one thing, that dice game where Duke the Jeweler lost his life. For those who've been around Houston long enough, you've heard the whispers, so-called friendly dice games that somehow always end with the house on top. Dice has been part of Houston's underground scene for decades, but the games linked to Jay Prince Jr. are something else entirely. These aren't casual backroom rolls. They're high-stakes, invite-only events, stacked with cash, flowing drinks, and a check-in system that ensures the house knows exactly who's in the room. But the streets say there's a catch. The Mob Ties playbook is simple. Lure rappers and high rollers in, keep the money moving, and let the dice work their magic. Even Charleston White spoke on it, though not many paid attention.
Listen.
Everybody in Texas know what the play is. If you rapping, you celebrity, if you like the strip club, you like to do this, you check in with them, they bringing them bad dice on you. Why you think they Duke the Jeweler, they really couldn't get him? That's why they had, come on, homie.
According to insiders, the dice setup runs like a well-oiled machine. Mob Ties keeps 3 men in rotation. One rolls, one holds, one swaps. And these aren't clean dice out of a box. They're shaved, weighted, and tweaked, so the odds lean exactly where the house wants them. The goal is simple. The house wins. Jay Prince Jr. allegedly takes a 30% cut, and everyone else leaves the table lighter. But everything shifted the night Duke the Jeweler walked in. Duke wasn't a rookie. He came straight from a Boosie concert, rocking millions in jewelry and confidence to match. Somehow he got his hands on dice that weren't meant for him. And then it happened. Roll after roll, Duke started winning big. First thousands, then tens of thousands, until he was reportedly up over 100,000. You can see it in the footage. The energy changes, smiles disappear, whispers spread, and that laid-back vibe tightens into something calculated. Because in a game designed for you to lose, winning that much isn't luck. It's a problem. Minutes later, Duke walked to his car alone. No crew, no security. Gunshots rang out, and just like that, he was gone. His jewelry untouched. His cash untouched. This wasn't robbery, it was about control. Duke broke the system's control. Duke wasn't just another face in the crowd. He was a respected Chicago jeweler with a client list most rappers would dream of. Custom pieces worth millions, credibility in the culture, and a reputation that made him a fixture in hip-hop circles. When Boosie invited him to Houston, Duke thought it was strictly business, but it ended with an ambush in a parking lot and unanswered questions.
He was walking to his car or something, some dude tried to rob him. Some dudes tried to rob him. I had just met dude yesterday. We was in a garage. He must have walked outside to the parking lot. We was in a garage. We heard this.
What raised federal eyebrows is what came after. Every piece of Duke's jewelry was still on him, but his Louis Vuitton bag, stuffed with over $1 million in custom work, ended up inside Boosie's house. Boosie claims Duke asked him to hold it during the game, and it just stayed there after the shooting. But it isn't that simple. Duke's phone last pinged near Boosie's studio before going dark, and investigators say they've got surveillance, text threads, and witnesses tying Boosie's circle to Duke's final hours. To make things heavier, the feds are reportedly eyeing Boosie's own nephew as a possible shooter. Instead of folding this into Boosie's other legal battles, prosecutors split Duke's case into its own federal murder probe. That's a classic pressure tactic. Keep the spotlight sharp and use it as leverage. They can dangle leniency on one charge in exchange for answers on another. The evidence is stacking up. Duke's phone data, prints found inside his rental car linked to Boosie's people, witness statements, and now whispers that some in Boosie's camp are already talking. The feds know once one person cracks, the whole timeline unravels, and the easiest way out is to give them what they want. If you're Boosie, staring down a gun case, a murder probe, and your own crew flipping, cutting a deal starts to look like survival. And there are only two names worth trading: Jay Prince Jr. or his father, Jay Prince. The pattern is hard to ignore. Two of the most high-profile dice games under Jay Prince Jr.'s watch ended in tragedy. Duke the jeweler dead hours after leaving one. Takeoff gunned down outside another. Different nights, same backdrop. High stakes, big money, and bullets before sunrise. Industry voices haven't stayed quiet either. Whack 100 accused Jay Prince Jr. of running setups designed to bleed rappers dry. Charleston White called these dice nights traps, with loaded dice and tight control. One wrong roll and you're a target. If Boosie really does start talking, the ripple effect could be massive. Houston's check-in culture, a system many say Jay Prince Sr. built, could collapse overnight. Already some rappers are pulling back from Houston, skipping appearances where mob ties might be involved. Officially, Jay Prince Sr. denies any check-in rule, but insiders say the pressure is real, just enforced more subtly now. And it's not just artists backing away. Record labels are watching closely. With dice games and violence dominating headlines, execs are quietly warning artists to steer clear. No label wants their rollout ruined by a crime scene livestream. That's what makes Boosie's alleged cooperation so explosive. If he names names, it won't just shake Houston. It could shake the entire rap industry. Because behind the whispers, the feds are reportedly building something bigger. Federal task forces in Houston have already dismantled entire gangs by targeting the Astol, shooters, the money men, and the insiders. If mob ties is next, all it takes is one leak. A video, a text, a witness, to turn whispers into indictments. And that's where Boosie's in danger. If he's really feeding the feds, they might protect him. But in the streets, protection from law enforcement paints a target on your back. Once your name is linked to cooperation, it's not whispers anymore. It's threats.